Now at 9, the city of Miami honors a community member by renaming an intersection. Plus, Pitt State holds a ceremony to honor some of its alumni. And Carthage students get an education on how food goes from farm to table.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Anthony Saviello. A late-night house fire claims the life of a Webb City man. It happened on South Oronogo Street in Webb City. Fire crews found 50-year-old Wyatt J. Fiker unresponsive. He died at the scene. There were no other occupants in the home at the time. The cause of the fire believed to be accidental. We'll check in with meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney for a first look at weather.
Well, temperatures today were right about average. We got to 76 for our high, 42 for our low, so we're a little bit cooler than average for our lows. And we're just going to continue to warm up for the next weekend. Temperatures right now dropping down to the low 60s, upper 50s. Now we do have a couple of clouds out in the far western counties, but really we're not seeing much going on for the next several days. We got rain chances coming up on Monday, but until then, temperatures remain pretty low and average. We're getting down to mid 40s to upper 40s again tonight, and highs for the weekend, upper 70s, even reaching low 80s. I'll have those details coming up.
All right, Lindsay, thanks. An intersection in Miami, Oklahoma has a new name to honor a community fixture. The city held a ceremony today renaming the intersection of Highway 69 located in front of the Miami Walmart. The intersection, now known as Chuck Stott's Way, will honor the late store manager for his service and dedication to the community. Chuck Stotts had a 40-year career with Walmart and served as store manager for nearly 30 years.
It is my favorite street. My husband was 6'9", and I say his life was short but very wide, and this is a short but very wide, probably the busiest intersection in Miami, and his legacy carries on.
Stotts passed away in March of last year. Pitt State University honored some of its alumni for their accomplishments. 3 recipients received an Outstanding Alumni Award and 2 recipients got the Gold Alumni Award. They each shared how Pitt State shaped not only their careers but also who they are as people.
Pittsburgh State is where I found myself. It really set the foundation of who I am, both as, of course, a person and as a professional. Resilience, if anything. I did plastics engineering and polymer chemistry when I was here.
PSU homecoming activities continue, starting with a parade at 9 a.m. The game starts at 2 p.m. tomorrow. The annual Food for America event was held in Carthage today. Carthage third graders had a chance to learn all about animals like horses, mules, and cows. The students also got to see a tractor exhibition. The event teaches the students about the process of how their food gets from the farm to their plate.
This just boosted, my want to be in agriculture. I think it's just a wonderful opportunity. Of course, I'm involved, with horses, and I think I love teaching kids about horses.
The goal of the event is to educate the students on agriculture and even inspire them to get involved. To find plenty of good eats at the Maple Leaf Festival, just follow your nose. The aroma led plenty of people to Brats on the Square this afternoon. It's a traditional fundraiser by the Rotary Club. For $10, people could get a grilled brat with chips, drinks, and a cookie. The proceeds benefit high school scholarships and worldwide polio eradication.
We hope that they have a good time. Ultimately, we hope they have a nice meal and give to a worthy cause where we're able to continue to give back to the Carthage community and again help Rotary grow more in this area. I know there's multiple clubs within Carthage, Webb City, Joplin. It just all helps us together.
The brat sale is over for today, but you'll find them again tomorrow from 11 until 2 on the southeast side of the square. Well, if you missed out on the Carthage Maple Leaf Festival today, don't worry. There is a full day of events going on tomorrow. That'll include a car show on Grant and a tractor show on Central Park, both starting at 8 a.m. Of course, the massive Maple Leaf Parade begins at 9. A Renaissance Festival runs from 2 p.m. to 6:30 at Faith Lutheran Church. truck and tractor pull at 5 p.m. at Gardner Downs Racetrack, and another free concert on the square at 7 tomorrow evening. It features the country rock pop band Midnight South. If you're looking for events in the 4 states but don't know where to turn, we've got you covered. Just scan this QR code right here on your screen. It'll take you straight to our events page on our website. Find fun family events in our area like Carthage's annual Maple Leaf Festival anytime, anywhere in the 4 states. KOAMnewsnow.com/events. Well, coming up, raising awareness when it comes to a naturally occurring stage of life. Today is World Menopause Day, a time to raise awareness for a natural stage in life that more than 1 million U.S. women experience every year. And still, it's commonly misunderstood and a subject many may not like to talk about. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has 5 things to know about menopause.
It's a natural part of aging that every woman will go through, but menopause can have a significant impact on a person's life.
Causing symptoms like hot flashes and night sweats, sleep disturbance, irritability, brain fog, joint pain symptoms, vaginal dryness, and sexual dysfunction.
Dr. Jewel Kling with Mayo Clinic says the first thing to know about menopause is that symptoms are common. A majority of women going through this stage will have symptoms, and about 30% will have severe symptoms.
I love to validate that for people because oftentimes women have them and maybe they don't even realize that those symptoms are related to menopause.
Second, you don't have to suffer. Kling says there are a number of treatments to ease symptoms, including hormone therapy. Third, for women who can't take hormone therapy or choose not to, Kling says there are also non-hormone options that can help, including prescription medications. Fourth, she says women who experience premature or early menopause before age 45 are at risk for long-term health problems like heart disease and osteoporosis.
The good news is studies support that if those women are on hormone replacement therapy, at least until the average age of menopause, which is about 52 years of age, that it mitigates those long-term health consequences.
Finally, if you're experiencing symptoms of perimenopause, which is the transitional period before menopause, you don't have to wait to get help.
And so if they're suffering, they should seek treatment.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Women who have social support are more likely to stay up to date on critical cancer screenings. A study by the American Cancer Society found that having emotional support from friends, family, or a spouse can have a big impact on whether or not women receive mammograms. Women who reported little or no support were 40% less likely to get regular mammograms. The number of children getting routine vaccinations is dropping as more parents are opting out. But that's also increasing the risk of preventable disease outbreaks. The CDC says this school year, as many as 7% of kindergartners aren't getting their recommended vaccines, an increase from 5% just 4 years ago. As a result, there's an increased danger of outbreaks of measles and whooping cough. Lindsay is next with a complete look at the forecast. And later, we'll take you on a spooky trip to Coffeyville, Kansas.
Well, it's been getting warmer these last couple of days. We had a hard freeze on Wednesday morning. Since then, temperatures have just continued to warm up. Taking a look downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex, we've got the winds blowing, clear skies for the most part. You can even see a star or two out there. Pretty nice night. Now, a couple of clouds out in the far western counties moving in, but really we're going to have a clear night ahead. Our warming trend has been continuing since Wednesday. We started off the morning pretty cold, but we got up to low 70s. And again on Thursday, low 70s. Now we dropped down to low 40s and got back up to mid to upper 70s today. And that trend is just going to continue. We are warming up slowly with temperatures getting down to upper 40s tonight instead of low 40s. And then over the weekend, getting up to the upper 40s and low 50s. So we're going to keep warming up. Now over the next couple of days, Temperatures tomorrow getting up to about 77 out in Joplin, 76 in Pittsburgh, 77 in Oswego, 78 in Independence and Nowata. Not so bad. Now 73 still out in Cassville, so much cooler out there. And then our lows getting down to low 60s, upper 50s. So we're really warming up with our highs getting into the, dropping down to low 50s for our lows and then getting into the mid to upper 70s. Starting off by 11 a.m., just now breaking 70 degrees, 68 still in Pittsburgh, 67 in Yates Center and Neodesha. Now we're warming up for our highs, upper 70s, 78 in Joplin, 79 in Miami. Not really breaking 80 degrees, but getting close. Then we start to really warm up Monday and Tuesday. We've got low pressure that's still cut off from the upper level flow, and it doesn't really join back until Sunday. There you can see it starting to regroup with the upper level jet stream, and then as that pushes in, we get a warm front moving in. So a few showers possible moving in on Monday afternoon, and there you can see a couple of storms just off to the west out in Wichita, Hutchinson, and Salina moving into our area just after 8 p.m. So we've got that warm front. Temperatures warm up, 83 degrees on Tuesday, 84 degrees on Wednesday. A couple of pop-up showers along a cold front line on Wednesday, dropping temperatures back down to mid-60s Thursday and mid-70s Friday because we warm right back up next weekend. Now, the week after that is going to be Halloween week, and we do see another potential cold front just before Halloween.
Well, it's been weird. You know,
it's been a
back
little
up to 80s again. That's crazy.
I mean, it's just this pattern it's like fighting it out. Summer pattern versus a winter pattern.
Yeah.
And, you know, unfortunately, I'm ready for the cooler weather. I was super excited earlier this week. It's okay though.
Yeah. We'll make it through.
I'm working on it, guys. Yeah. I promise.
Thanks, Lindsay. Well, coming up, how an organization is helping people cope with getting older.
Getting older is a fact of life, but it doesn't make it any easier. I'm Jackie Ibanez with a look at how adult day centers are offering unique services to improve the lives of seniors. That's all straight ahead.
Join them to help more families spend.
Ensuring your aging loved ones receive quality care is important. And across the country, thousands of adult care centers are continuing to offer specialized services to help enhance seniors' quality of life. These facilities are different from nursing homes, and the way many embrace the traditions of the communities they serve come with plenty of benefits. Fox News correspondent Jackie Ibanez takes a closer look.
Aging isn't always easy, and as people get into the later years of their life, it's not uncommon for some to require more attention. But for those who aren't ready for residential stays at nursing homes, thousands of adult day centers around the country are helping to strengthen the social interactions and health of seniors.
So you're getting nurses, you're getting OT, physical therapy, recreational therapy, social workers, mental health, speech therapy.
Because these spaces look after clients during the day, it can give their family members and caregivers more personal time for work or to take a break.
Everybody who sees me raises their thumb to tell me how great it is that I insist on coming.
Adult day centers are also the most racially diverse long-term care facilities in the nation. Data from the CDC reveals 60% of attendees identify as a person of color. Many centers cater their program to the cultures of those they serve.
In terms of hours, it's culturally sensitive and culturally competent for Vietnamese, Korean, and Chinese seniors. So the food is familiar, the faces are familiar, the language is familiar. Imagine having to be in a nursing home and not being able to communicate.
These specialized offerings can help older adults feel less isolated, which can decrease the risk of depression and ease symptoms of dementia. Advocates say adult day centers are the most cost-effective healthcare options for seniors, but they see the least amount of clients out of all long-term care settings because Medicare doesn't cover them. I'm Jackie Ibanez, Fox News.
The Federal Communications Commission announces it will soon require all mobile phones sold in the U.S. to be compatible with hearing aids. The agency approved the new rules on Thursday. The agency says all mobile phones will also need to meet volume control benchmarks. The agency says companies will have to include on their websites whether their mobile devices are compatible with hearing aids. The FCC says it worked with several cell phone carriers to create applicable rules. The agency has not yet set a specific date for when the new rules will take effect. You'll pay more for a mortgage. The average rate on a 30-year mortgage rose for the third week in a row, reaching its highest level in 8 weeks and rising to 6.44%, according to Freddie Mac. Just 3 weeks ago, the average rate slipped to its lowest level in 2 years. Mortgage rates are influenced by several factors, including how the bond market reacts to the Fed's interest rate policy decisions. This year's election could have an impact on where people want to live. A poll from Realtor.com shows 23% of potential first-time home buyers are waiting to see where they will live until after the election in November. 63% of respondents say local and national politics are at least slightly influential for where they live. The company says politics is one of the most important considerations for homebuyers because it helps them find a place where they feel comfortable in their community. Up next, a history tour that has a little bit of spookiness to go along with it. Coffeyville is on a spooky mission to tell the stories that still haunt its town. KOAM's Lonnie Walton takes us to Coffeyville, but watch out, you might want to leave the light on.
This was actually the site at one point in time of the finding of a baby's body in the fountain, or it's in the well as it was at one point in time.
Wyatt Stearns from Coffeyville Chamber of Commerce says this town was said to be haunted many years ago. That's why he's hosting a tour for those brave enough to learn about it. He wouldn't share all the details, but some still may find it a bit chilling.
So we have more information on that story that we'll share during our tour, but this was where this was. Eventually this was then covered up and then redug up to start our fountain all over again.
If you're going to this bank, Wyatt says watch out. There's a lady that feels spirits.
Come in and she'll mingle with them. There are certain areas in the bank where she can feel strange feelings. And then even if she walks down Death Alley here, she can feel certain spots where the bullets would have went through.
John Johnson from Eichmann Hardware says he's sure he has ghosts.
Well, haven't seen them. I swear I have ghosts in the basement because I'll have stuff set out and I'll come back a little bit later and it'll be in a different spot.
Not only will you hear stories about the bank, but the Brown Mansion as well.
They actually had piano start playing. They had piano music playing around, and while it started playing, some of the attendees could smell like what smelled like a Christmas tree.
Although Wyatt didn't give all the information, he says it's only the beginning. Reporting in Coffeyville, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
The cost of participating in the Historical Tours event is $20. All proceeds will be donated to the historical upkeep of Coffeyville. The haunted tours are tonight and Saturday night. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Coming up, time is running out for President Biden's time in office.
With his time in office dwindling, President Biden is shoring up international support for Ukraine. I'm Rebecca Kasser in Washington with how November's election is playing a big role.
Plus, a Missouri judge blocks a law requiring sex offenders to post no candy during Halloween.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
A federal judge in Missouri recently blocked a law requiring registered sex offenders to put up a no candy sign on their front doors during Halloween. The judge called it unconstitutional, explaining it violated First and 14th Amendment rights. But as Caroline Hogan reports, the move has left parents feeling unsettled this Halloween.
Stephanie Newby's home in Independence is all set up for Halloween.
I have great memories of doing that with my mom, and my son loves it. That's like the most important part, that it's for the kids.
She wants to make sure her kids are safe, checking candy, wearing reflective gear. But now that registered sex offenders in Missouri don't have to put signs on their doors like these, she feels a bit uneasy.
I think there should be more instead of taking it away, because what's next? You know, are they going to take away more stuff and then let them pass out candy to people?
A Missouri judge found the signage was a violation of First Amendment rights.
there are some restrictions on your freedom, but there are limits.
I spoke to civil rights attorney Arthur Benson to get more clarity.
I was kind of surprised there had not been a similar order much earlier. The government cannot force you to say or publish something it wants that you don't agree to.
Attorney General Andrew Bailey said in a tweet he will be appealing this ruling immediately, but Arthur doesn't think it will succeed.
Winning on appeal requires that you understand the merits of the law. In this case, the merits of the law clearly, I think, favor the sex offender.
Stephanie said she's going to take precautions into her own hands.
But at least we can pull up an app or a website on your phone and still check it out. So, I mean, we're still going to be doing that.
Because all she wants is for her kids to be safe and enjoy their favorite holiday.
The United States has imposed its first sanctions on Chinese firms for making weapons for Russia's war in Ukraine. In an announcement Thursday, the U.S. Treasury Department accused 2 Chinese firms of direct involvement in arms supplies to Moscow. The department said Chinese companies had collaborated with Russian defense firms in the production of drones. It said the drones were designed, developed, and made in China before being sent to Russia for use in the battlefield. Washington has long accused China of supporting Russia's war effort, which Beijing denies. Today, special counsel Jack Smith released more documents related to the Donald Trump's election interference case. The move came the day after a D.C. federal judge rejected Trump's request to pause their release. On Thursday, Trump's attorneys said releasing the documents could be seen as election interference. However, Judge Tanya Chutkin said not doing so could also potentially interfere in the election. The nearly 2,000 pages from the Department of Justice were mostly redacted, but social media posts, including ones from January 6th, were also included. The documents lay out details of Smith's case against Trump after the 2020 presidential election. An independent panel of former law enforcement officials lambasted the Secret Service for its handling of security at a Trump campaign rally over the summer. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas appointed them to review the agency's role in the security failures leading up to the assassination attempt of Trump. The panel says the Secret Service has become more complacent and static, even though risks have multiplied. They said those working the Pennsylvania rally this summer lacked experience and critical thinking. The panel attributed most of the concerns to the agency's do more with less culture. They believe a complete overhaul of leadership is needed. President Biden is on his way back from Europe after urging allies to keep up their financial and military support for Ukraine. Whether Washington does depends on how November's election turns out. If Donald Trump is reelected, Ukraine could lose one of its biggest supporters. Fox News correspondent Rebecca Castor has more.
Joe Biden's likely last trip to Europe as president was a victory lap. He was awarded Germany's highest honor, the Order of Merit, for his decades of support for Europe, especially when war broke out in Ukraine.
We cannot let up. We must sustain our support.
That's the president's parting message to his counterparts in Germany, France, and the United Kingdom as his time in office dwindles. Currently, the U.S. is Ukraine's largest military supplier, sending more than $64 billion in military aid since the war broke out. But public opinion is shifting. Some Americans are reluctant to keep sending money overseas, especially with matters to address here at home. Others, including former President Donald Trump, think European countries need to step up their support.
The choice on November the 5th is only Americans' choice to make. But we as Europeans have a choice too. We have the choice to do our part, to be unwavering in our support for Ukraine.
Biden and the other leaders also discussed what Ukraine calls its victory plan. President Volodymyr Zelensky is pushing for an invitation to join NATO and permission to use the Pentagon's long-range missiles on targets inside Russia.
Right now, there's no consensus for long-range weapons.
Critics say blocking the use of those weapons is preventing Ukraine from finishing the war. President Zelensky says some allies are suggesting Ukraine should sit down with Russia for peace talks, but he's adamantly opposed, saying that benefits Russia more. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
A bit later, many gather to mourn the loss of a popular music artist.
shockwaves sent throughout the One Direction fan base over the death of former member Liam Payne. From Argentina to Japan to the UK. I've got more on how fans and close ones of Payne are reacting coming up.
Well, we've been warming up since earlier this week when we had a freeze, but taking a look outside right now, downtown Joplin, it's a great night. Temperatures are still a bit chilly down in the lower 60s, upper 50s right now, but overall it is a fantastic evening. Now, we've got a few clouds out in the far western counties, just west of Independence, Coffeyville, Chanute, Yates Center, but going to be moving in. Other than that, really, it's going to be a clear night, clear weekend. Temperatures continue to warm up. So yesterday, we got up to just about 70 degrees. We dropped down again to the lower 40s, and then we warmed right back up today to the mid to upper 70s. Now, overnight lows tonight, dropping down to mid to upper 40s, about 46 degrees out in the Joplin area, but surrounding counties not too far off. We're pretty uniform across all of our counties. A few clouds as well, like we just saw on the radar, but a southeasterly breeze, so we're still getting that warmer air. Now, if we're walking through the weekend, highs on Saturday, 77 out in Joplin, 76 in Pittsburgh, 78 in Miami, so a little bit warmer out there, 73 in Cassville, 74 in Monette. Now, getting down to 10 p.m., so just when you're planning on going out, celebrating the night, temperatures dropping down to low 60, 62 Joplin, 57 Oswego, 58 in Yates Center, and then our overnight lows dropping down to low 50s, upper 40. So we're still slightly just creeping up in temperatures for the weekend. Now our highs getting into about 70 degrees by about 11:15. So we're just breaking into the 70-degree area, then getting into the upper 70s. Not quite hitting 80 though, about 79 in Miami and Welsh and Veneta, 77 still in Pittsburgh, Lamar, Nevada. So we are warming up, though it is a slow warm up. Now, we've got this ridge sitting over our area because a low pressure just off to the west is cut off from the upper level jet stream, and the jet stream is what drives our weather. So if this is not connected to it, nothing's driving it. But it will eventually reconnect with the upper level flow on Sunday. There it goes, and then it's going to propagate just east as well. And we're possibly seeing a couple of showers from a warm front that is associated with that low pressure. Now that's not moving in until Monday evening. As you can see, a few showers and thunderstorms just outside of our area on Wichita, moving in after about 8 p.m. Now it's going to be isolated and scattered, so we're really not expecting a ton of accumulation. But after that, temperatures warm up. 83 degrees on Tuesday, 84 on Wednesday. Now Wednesday, we've got another wind shift line. Pop-up showers along that boundary, and then temperatures drop again down to mid-60s, and then again we warm right back up for the weekend, but luckily a possible cold front just before Halloween.
We're hoping for a cool Halloween.
I'm hoping for a cool Halloween.
A spooky Halloween.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nothing better than a spooky Halloween.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Thanks, Lindsay. Coming up in sports, a preview of this weekend's football action, which gets started at the high school level tonight. John Dales breaks down the biggest games in the area up next. Fans around the world are grieving the death of One Direction star Liam Payne after he fell from the Casa Sur Hotel in Buenos Aires. A preliminary autopsy report from the Argentinian local prosecutor's office finds he died of trauma and internal and external hemorrhaging. Fox News Edge entertainment reporter Ashley Dvorkin has more from Hollywood on how this is affecting fans.
Fans flock to a hotel in Buenos Aires. They leave notes, light candles, and support each other through tears. They're mourning the death of British singer Liam Payne, who Argentinian police say fell from the third-floor balcony of this hotel.
Liam was and is a very important person to a lot of people, and maybe he didn't know how many lives he saved.
Many of these fans grew up with Payne. He rose to fame in 2011 during his time in the mega boy band One Direction, grabbing the attention of teenagers and young adults worldwide.
They broke up. There was always talk about the return, the reunion, at least symbolic, but it won't be able to happen anymore.
The band split in 2016 and Payne began his solo career, releasing songs Strip That Down and For You featuring singer Rita Ora, who became emotional while paying tribute to him during a show in Japan. Back in Liam's home country, fans in the UK say their goodbyes to the singer with an iconic One Direction phone booth.
We grew up with him, and regardless if you still follow his career nowadays or not, just thinking that we'll never see him again on stage or like that is like, it pains a little bit.
The surviving members of One Direction wrote a statement saying they are completely devastated and will take time to grieve the loss of Payne. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Coming up, ticket prices for popular music artists continue to rise. You may have noticed seeing your favorite artist in concert is getting more expensive, especially when it comes to big names like Taylor Swift. Tickets at times selling for hundreds, even thousands of dollars. Maribel Gonzalez tells us what could be driving these sky-high prices.
Lynn Habis-Reitinger is a self-proclaimed Swiftie.
Since 2006, when Debut came out.
And a determined one. Last year, she traveled from Orlando to Atlanta to try to catch a Taylor Swift show without a ticket secured.
The tickets in Atlanta were going for resale was probably like $500.
Lynn couldn't afford that. Instead, she listened from outside the venue. Now she's seeing her ticketless saga begin again. Tickets for this weekend's Era Tours shows in Miami going for hundreds of dollars on resale sites, some as much as thousands.
I love Taylor so much and I want to be there so badly, but that is such a huge financial burden.
What is driving these sky-high prices? Professor Andrew Mall from Northeastern University says it starts with demand.
We're in this situation because there aren't enough Taylor Swifts, right? This is a market of scarcity at work.
Bots and technology now making it easier for scalpers to purchase lots of tickets at once, but fans are now also reselling tickets as an investment.
There is a way in which we're being asked, what is the value of this experience, especially knowing that we can resell it for a lot of money.
Last month, Coldplay fans in India shocked to find tickets for the band's Music of the Spheres tour being resold for as much as $11,000. The aftermarket prices frustrating buyers around the world.
It's just really heart-wrenching. They go on and buy those tickets up so that they can resell them. They're not fans of them at all.
I'm Maribel Gonzalez reporting.
Well, it's a good thing I don't go to concerts.
I do go to concerts. I like concerts, but I wouldn't.
Ticket prices are high right now.
Yeah, I'm
When's
not
the
paying
last time
more
you
than-
went to one?
I just went to one recently. Charles Godwin Jr.
But did you pay for it?
I did not.
Yeah, there you go.
Last concert I paid for was probably 2 years ago.
Yeah, this is a little cheaper back then.
Actually, I think it was a gift for my dad, birthday gift.
See?
Dang it.
Cheaper back then for sure. All right, that's our time for tonight. Here at KOAM. Have a great night.